So let's talk about taking your business global. It is a massive opportunity, for sure, but it's also loaded with these silent financial traps that can turn what looks like a great deal into a huge loss. Today, we're going to uncover those risks. You know this quote? It absolutely nails it. You get that contract signed, you feel like you've reached the finish line, but you haven't. Not even close. That's just the start of the real journey. Getting paid in full without your profits getting eaten away before they ever hit your bank. All right, let's dive into the main problem, what I like to call the silent profit killer. It's this thing that so many businesses don't even realize is happening until, well, it's way too late. This right here, it's a hidden truth of global trade that catches so many people out. You'd think you're just selling a product, right? But surprise, the moment you agree on a price in, say, dollars or euros, you've also just become a currency trader. Your profit margin is no longer a sure thing. It's now floating on the crazy waves of the global currency markets, and it stays that way until the money is actually in your hands. Okay, so that leads us directly to the specific threats your business is facing. I want you to think of these as unseen enemies, just lurking in every single international deal, waiting to take a chunk out of your bottom line. So what are you actually up against? Well, first you've got exchange rates that are constantly moving, chipping away at your price. Then you have those long payment cycles, net 60, net 90, that can just crush your cash flow. Then there's the very real, very scary risk that your buyer just doesn't pay. And on top of all that, you get hit with high banking fees that take yet another slice. Each one of these is a direct threat to your profit. And just how fragile are those profits? Look at this number. A 5 to 10% swing in an exchange rate. It might not sound like a catastrophe, but for a small or medium-sized business working on tight margins, that's everything. That can be the entire profit on a deal. Just gone. Vanished into thin air between when you send the invoice and when you get paid. And let's get real about how this plays out. Every single one of these is a potential landmine. You give a client 60 days to pay, bam, you're exposed to 2 full months of currency risk. A buyer defaults and you don't have insurance, that money's probably gone, forever. Even a simple typo on a banking document can get your payment blocked by the bank for who knows how long. These are not just theories. This is the daily reality for so many exporters. Okay, enough with the doom and gloom. Here's the good news. All of these risks are manageable. You just need the right tools. So now let's talk about the modern defense toolkit that's available to literally every business. You do not have to leave your profits up to chance. First up is your #1 weapon against those crazy currency swings, the forward contract. The idea is actually super simple. You agree on an exchange rate today for a payment you'll receive in the future. And that's it. Done. The risk of the market moving against you, it's just gone. You know exactly how much you're going to get, and your profit is locked in and secure. Next, let's talk about trade credit insurance. What if your buyer's business goes under and they just can't pay you? I mean, that's the stuff of nightmares for any business owner. Well, this insurance is your safety net. It's basically insurance for your invoices. If a customer defaults, the insurance company pays you instead. This is what lets you trade globally with real confidence. For decades, the only way to move money across borders was through the old, clunky banking system. And you know what I'm talking about. It's slow, it's confusing, and it is packed with hidden fees. You send the money, and you're never quite sure where it is or how much is actually going to arrive on the other end. This old plumbing just eats into your profits. But now, thank goodness, we have the fintech revolution. Companies like Wise, Pioneer, and Airwallex were built specifically to fix this problem. They offer international payments that are unbelievably faster, way cheaper, and totally transparent. For small business, this is like upgrading from dial-up internet to fiber optic. It is a massive, massive improvement. So we've seen the risks and we've seen the tools. For this last part, let's put it all together. How do you actually build a financial shield around your international deals? Here it is, a practical step-by-step checklist. First, if you can, invoice in a stable currency, like the US dollar or the euro. That shifts some of the risk. 2, use those forward contracts we talked about to lock in your rate. 3, absolutely insure your big receivables. 4, ditch the old banks and use a modern fintech platform for your transfers. 5, try to structure deals with an upfront deposit. And finally, a simple but powerful trick, build a small 3 to 5% buffer into your price, just in case, to absorb any small currency moves. And that brings us to the biggest takeaway of all. If you remember one thing, let it be this. Financial defense is not something you do after there's a problem. It's a system you build into every single deal, right from day one. These risks are silent, yes, but they are also absolutely deadly to your bottom line. A proactive shield is the only way you can guarantee that all your hard work actually turns into profit.
So I'll leave you with a question to ask yourself when you look at your own business. Are your international profits actually protected by a clear strategy? Or are you just closing your eyes, crossing your fingers, and hoping for the best? The tools are out there to take back control.